Hi, Matt with eTrailer. If you have a 2024 Jeep Grand Wagoneer and you're looking for a rack that's going to be great for hauling your heavy e-bikes because it will come with an included ramp, then the RockyMounts GigaWatt Bike Rack is going to be a great option for you. So let's check it out. Before we get into all the specs on this rack, I want to talk about how our bike's going to interact. So we got plenty of distance here, so even if we're on a really bumpy road, our bike rack does a great job at holding our bike in place. We got plenty of space where we won't make contact. And we are going to have a pretty decent weight capacity. This is going to be 80 pounds per bike, so most racks can't handle bikes that heavy, so this would be perfect for your heavy e-bikes. And I like this handle because it is going to be coated in blue, so it makes it a little more intuitive. Then we can lower that down. Now I will say the one downside of this, we won't get full hatch access. So you're just going to be a little bit careful with how you put your pedal. And if we stop it right about there, if we go up a little bit higher, we're going to actually make contact with our handlebars, but this is still enough. If you need to throw anything back here, like some groceries or get your bike and equipment, you'll have the space to do that. Or if you want to grab that included ramp, you can do that now. Now this ramp is doing a pretty good job. It is a little wide, which is something I like, but you might notice it's not super long compared to some other options around. Now this gradual slope isn't too bad since our carrier does kind of dip down a bit, but if you want something a little bit longer, then I'd recommend checking out the Ceres MHS. You can actually get a ramp separately from it, and this is going to be more so the angle you'll have, so this is going to be a little bit more gradual. Now, we'll say this ramp doesn't come with your rack. This is going to be something you have to get separately. So that's one of the downsides of going with the Ceres. But from here, we can put everything back into place because if you do plan on driving off, you don't want this sticking out. So we'll just make sure everything is secured down. So it looks a little bit neater too. And from this point, we can get a few measurements. The first measurement I like to get is going to be the ground clearance. Now this is going to sit up pretty high, and you can have different levels of putting your vehicle to. So right now we're going to be sitting at 29 inches, and our vehicle is completely lowered down. Now if you want to raise your vehicle up higher, you can do that, but there's really no need to if you're doing it for just your bike rack, since we're not going to make any ground contact like this. If anything, if you raise up your vehicle, that's going to be even more difficult to put your bikes into place. Now for the total distance it's going to sit out, this is going to be at about 35 inches, which isn't too bad. It's a little bit longer than some more standard 2-bike carriers, but we can save space. All you have to do is pull on this blue knob and lift it up. Try not to grab the wrong point, and we'll bring that in. And from here, we're just going to measure from our back bumper again. And this is going to be sitting at a little bit over 15 inches. So that's going to save you a lot of space. In this position, it will block a few things. So it's going to block a majority of your license plate and backup camera. They'll still be partially visible, but if you plan on backing up, I'd mainly stick to using either your back window or your mirrors. Now for your taillights, those are going to be visible. They might be obstructed just a little bit, but not enough to impede them from being used. And the way this is going to install, we're going to have a 2-inch shank that goes into a 2-inch hitch receiver. We'll then have an anti-rattle bolt that is going to be a 3/4 inch, and that's going to go through and connect to your lock cord. Now this lock cord is just going to give you extra security so no one can come by and take your bikes. In my opinion, I think this is a solid choice, and when it comes to bike racks that come with a ramp, this is probably going to be my top choice just because it is just really easy to use, it looks nice, and I like the ramp and how it works. Now, if you're looking at other options and you're not too sure how to go, or you really don't like how the ramps are going to work on the back of your Wagoneer, then I'd actually recommend checking out the Ceres Story County, because that's not going to have a ramp at all. Instead, it's going to have a mechanism built into it that's going to lower the carrier, so it's a little bit easier to take your bikes on and off. Now, it won't go completely to the ground, but it's going to get pretty dang close. Now, the only downside to that is that's going to be at a much more premium price range, and it might not look as nice as something like this. But that's just personal preference. But that's just a look at the RockyMounts GigaWatt Bike Rack on the back of our 2024 Jeep Grand Wagoneer. I'm Matt Thanks for watching.